Alright, grown black folks talk. On the climb. I've talked to you about life, death, and money on the subject of hypergamy. Now I want to talk to you about life. I usually don't do 3 videos in a day. I'm making an exception because I want to finish the thought with y'all. Okay, forget death. Let's go to life. For you as a woman, seeking any mate, really. But if you want a man who's a higher social status than you, this becomes very important. If money was no object, who are you? If you don't ever have to go to that job again, who are you? Who that person is also going to be the man that you're fitted to be with. And even if he relieves you of all your money worries, that's still who he has to live with. Alright, so let's start here. Life. Do you have standards? Do you have high spiritual and moral standards that you will not sell out for money, including to a man with money, for money? If you don't have standards, then you don't have any. If you don't walk and stand in and walk in your standards, you don't have anything to stand on. And I'm going to say this again, things you will not compromise for money. Even if you are, and I'm going to go generally and then I'm going to go specific. Even if you are an atheist, you can have high moral and ethical standards. If you are a member of any religion that does not teach that, okay, you missed the point of most. As a Christian, here is the standard, ladies, if any of you follow Christ. Are you a person that walks in the power of the Holy Spirit? What does that mean? Well, the fruits of manifestation of the Spirit are not speaking in tongues and falling out in church. The fruit of the Spirit is in 9 segments, like an orange. Love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, goodness, meekness, faith, and self-control. Do you manifest these things so that a man who is not manifesting these things will be obvious to you? Do you know what it is to walk in and practice? Because here's what happens. You don't do what you say you're going to do. You do what you practice. So if you do not have these standards to walk in, if you are not a loving, peaceful, joyful, patient, gentle, good, meek, and I'll break that down for you in just a minute, faithful and self-controlled person, nobody's going to be desperate enough to put up with that on a higher social level. He does not need you like that. You are going to go into the company of men that do not need you like that. Now, meekness. Okay, what is that? Strength, well-controlled, controlled by wisdom and good sense. Some of you know me as Themis and Thoughts Moderated. This doesn't make you a pushover, because generally I will come into a situation where people are behaving disorderly, and when I am finished, there will be more peace there than when I came in. I have sufficient strength to do that. But I don't insult, I do not disrespect. I do not cross certain lines. I can read you for filth without taking your personhood and dehumanizing you. This is strength under control, meekness. A man needs to be with a woman who has her strength under control. And I mention this because as a moderator, it's my job to read your comments for those who watch Themis and Thought. It's my job to read your comments. Some of you on these 9 things, because here's what goes on. You have to subtract things from your life that take you out of this mindset. You can't marinate. It does not matter what Kanye, Kim, or Tina is doing. It really doesn't. So know about it, of course. Understand the stats on black femicide. Know that it takes place. But you can't marinate in that, because a lot of what some of us think is sisterhood is a trauma bond. And a healthy man of any economic status, if he wants peace in his life, he can't deal with that. He's not going to. Because again, men up here, they do not need you. Secondly, now that we've established you have to have more spiritual and moral standards that you walk in, what interests do you have? If you subtract everything that removes you from being a peaceful person and you do not have to work, what interests, gifts, and talents, there's a difference, and how much skill do you have on developing any of them? What would you do for yourself before you think about your husband or your kids? Who are you? What are your interests? What are your gifts? What are your talents? Now, in the 21st century, here's the thing, and you will be held to account to it by any sensible man. The whole idea of hypergamy is that you're going to marry up to a stable position. And women have always sought to do this, but then a lot of people haven't read in Genesis where Adam was told, because he had sinned, that the ground was cursed and that work was going to be hard and that he would do it by the sweat of his brow till he died. And women were not cursed like that, but they would say, you're going to need your husband. You're going to have a desire to have a husband who will do this. And because you are in such need of him, he will rule over you. He can't be God compared to me, but he will try and compare to you. So a lot of you sit up and talk about, I don't need a man. Great. And men are talking about, since you live in the same 21st century, why can't you contribute? Both are true, actually. So a hypergamous man is going to ask you, what are you doing? A man you want to get to, not a hypergamous man. But they ask the same questions. What are you doing with the skills and talents you have outside of work? You want to be a stay-at-home mom? Great. How are you going to support the family purpose? What skills and talents are you going to bring to that? Because let me tell you something about a man who has money. If he wants a woman who he can come home to look cute, if he wants a maid to have sex with, if he wants a woman who's going to be face beat, hair beat, spa, all the rest of it, he can have a mistress or hire a maid or an escort. Again, he doesn't need you like that. But let me tell you what he does need. A good man, whether he has a lot of money or he doesn't, is wired to need his God-given companion. One. Now, men who practice fornication, forget it. It doesn't matter how much money they have. They're just out here tasting the rainbow. That's all they're doing. And that's not talking about that. And see, again, like I said yesterday, you have to understand, when you get with men with money, you get mad because black men go on their social media and support one another in disposing of women when they're done with them or when they're rejected. You going into communities of men that have judges, politicians, lawyers, and all the rest, and even police officers in their thrall. You can't do a regular background check on men like this because that stuff's not going to show up on their record on retail availability. It's not going to show up. But even men of that level are still men, and they are wired to want to have, if they have not completely become corrupted, they are looking for their mate. And this isn't a reference to age or body type or race. If a man meets the woman who fits him, he will do what he has to do for their family. He may be a 5-figure man today who will become a 6. There are 6-figure men who will become a 7. There are 5-figure black men who will become 7-figure black men for their families. And also in every other community, you see this. But the thing is, who are you? The Lord Jesus said a man's life does not consist of the things that he possesses. Well, yours doesn't either. The job that you possess, the degree that you possess, that's not who you are. Those are things you have acquired. Those are possessions. Who are you? When all the money is no longer an issue or is stripped away, what's here at bottom? What's left? Whoever that person is, that's who you have to accentuate to be attractive to your mate. Not every man in the world, but your mate. And he is looking for his mate. And if it's a good man, now a bad man will let you be messy and dependent and all the rest, and knows that you're coming because you just said all this time talking smack about black men. A wealthy man of any race knows that you're looking for that. And he'll look at your desperation. He'll look at you living in the same 21st century that he does and unable to make things happen for yourself. And you don't talk about, I don't need a man and be independent. You do not know how to be interdependent, meaning that you can come to him for certain things and he also knows he can come to you. I'm not talking about 50-50. It doesn't have to be money, but you have to build yourself to a point that the things a man needs. Are you someone who brings light to his life? A healthy man knows he can have sex with any woman. There's 3.9 billion people available, but there's one person who brings light to his life in a way that no one else can. And he's looking for that person. Do you bring light to his life? Can you with him, because you want a man, peaceful man, because nothing can be built in a war zone. If you don't understand that, ask the construction workers in Ukraine about this. You can't build peaceful in a war zone. If he's a peaceful person, a builder is a peaceful person by definition, then he needs to know that you also have that same personality and that you fit in a circle of builders. It's who you are. that's going to attract the right man. And if you are wise, you will cultivate the spiritual and moral qualities first before you even think about trying to be hypergamous. Here's the other thing. If you do, you may find out something very interesting. You may find out that you don't need a particular dollar amount. Because once you invest in your skills and your talents and your gifts, and since you're in the 21st century and the same computer gives you access to $1 billion worth of opportunities per day, you may find that when you learn how to create money from what God gave you, maybe it doesn't matter if the man has 6 figures or 5, because the two of you working together can create more. I know a bunch of young black couples and older black couples. They started out at 5 figures. They're 7 now, working together. I know one of them personally. That's my parents. And she never worked outside the house. She never had to work outside the house. She saved a great deal of money. She taught us, homeschooled, so she benefited her children with her knowledge. She cooked and took care of the house. We didn't have to, Dad didn't have to pay for child care or anything like that. He did his housework too when he got home. He helped us with some advanced concepts in mathematics that she couldn't. So he participated in our education. He made sure we had good experiences, experienced a lot of things, and so forth. They worked together on the things that were important, which was having their family. Dad was what I call a high earner, not rich yet when my mom met him. Credit to Kevin Samuels for the Henry term. But they've had things that they value. They wanted to see what the Lord would give them to do together. And so now, they enjoy life. They enjoy life. And they raised me. It cost me $200 amortized over the course of a year to have. Well, no, $400 because I need new shoes and I support twice a year. Plus some hiking poles, which I expect in a year will be worn out. $500 over the course of a year to do what I enjoy because I know what my interests are. I like the outdoors and I want to move through them gently. I'm not at athlete level. I'm not a mountain climber. You will not see me on the top of Everest. When my feet feel better, I'll go back to the top of Luna Vista, and then hopefully around Mount Olympus and stuff there. But that's as far as I'm going to be able to go. But that's my interest. Musician, y'all know that. Thinker, speaker, writer. But that's the other thing. Here's the deal. I can create money at will. This not counting what I may inherit, but I can create money at will. So do I need to put massive pressure on a man because that's the only way I'm going to be able to live a good lifestyle? No, I'm living a good lifestyle now. My life coach talks to me about cultivating other interests. I love my work. But if I didn't have that, who would I be? I'm finding that out now. I'm a major creative, multidisciplinary artist. And for me, someone who didn't make a lot of money but has it sufficiently that we can make money in the great outdoors, he doesn't need to make $100,000. He just knows how to live a mobile life. And then you got to consider, I just put in my passport application. We don't have to deal with the U.S. cost of living either. You may discover when you develop who you are separate from money, that who you need is not what you think you need. Because your life does not consist with the money he makes or you makes. Your life consists with who you are as a human being, not how much money you have in the end. You may find that out. All right, enough. I've already talked to you about the dangers of doing it any other way. We'll stop here at 13 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. Please go. I'll put some other things in the description. Healing, real education for you. Some other things where you can talk about women who are living their best lives with and without their husbands, and none of them are making $100,000. It'll be in the description when I get home to upload this. I gotta go do something for a black elder neighbor, a friend of mine now. All right, y'all talk. Have a good time. Have a good day now. Enjoy. Happy spring. We'll talk about winter is over tomorrow. All right, bye.